Two Chairs No Waiting, episode number 261. Thankful for Mayberry. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the fine folks over at Weaver's Department Store. Mr. Weaver has all kinds of great things over there, and I'm thankful he does. So head over to Weaver's Department Store and check it out, weaversdepartmentstore.com. You won't be sad you did, and folks that love Mayberry are going to enjoy the presents you get from them over at Weaver's. So weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners just like you. The executive producer of Two Chairs No Waiting, number 261, is my lovely wife, Jan. Jan, that means I didn't have any donations lately. So I give her credit. Hey, I know what to do. I know how that works out. Folks, I am Alan Newsom, your host for Two Chairs No Waiting. It's great to be in Mayberry with you. And every week I look forward to this. I enjoy spending some time just talking to you and sharing my love of the Andy Griffith Show with you, somebody I know that can appreciate it, because I know you do, or you wouldn't be here and listening to me. So thanks for showing up and for giving me this chance to do that. And I always want to hear back from you, because I talk to you all the time. So I really do enjoy hearing back from you. And I'm thankful for those of you guys who take the time to call in or write in and just say, hey, and tell me that you enjoy the podcast, or give me some ideas about things that you've enjoyed in the past or things you'd like to hear. So I would love to hear from you. You can call me at 888-684-8415. You can email me at floyd@imayberry.com, or drop by any of our websites and leave me a message, and I'll get it. So I am thankful for that. But that's not what I wanted to talk about tonight. I do want to talk about being thankful, but not just like, not that. So I'm going to play a little background music from some big band type music, jazz. And let's talk about what we're thankful for in Mayberry. We don't think about this a lot, I think, and we tend to take it for granted. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things we really like about the Andy Griffith Show and Mayberry in general. Andy, Barney, Opie, Aunt Bee, Thelma Lou, all those characters. Aren't you thankful for them? Can you really think about any of them and not have a smile on your face and just grin? I have a Mayberry squad car that I bought several years ago from Paul Mulick. And it sits in my carport. And every day when I get home from work, I drive up and I park right behind that squad car. And there are those two round lights that are on the back of that car, and the bubble light up on top of the car. And I got to tell you, when I see that thing, I got to smile. When you think about Barney Fife, Floyd the Barber, Opie, Aunt Bee, all those folks, don't you just have to smile? How can you not smile when you see them or hear them? They're just such great smile generating people, aren't they? So I just want you to remember that. Be thankful for them. Because can you imagine what life would have been like if Andy hadn't have thought up the Andy Griffith Show? I can't. It's just amazing, isn't it? I'm thankful for the whole town of Mayberry. Because when you look at it and you see those streets, you see that courthouse sitting there in front of you. When you turn on the TV and there it is on the Andy Griffith Show, doesn't it make you smile just seeing it? Isn't it neat to look down the street and see the Mayberry Grand down there and wonder when they're going to be changing the marquee? The boys are going to be standing out there watching it, because that's an exciting day in Mayberry. Sitting around out front of Floyd's Barbershop on the chair out front, just watching the cars go by, maybe reading the newspaper. Can you imagine how nice that would be to do? And shouldn't you be thankful that you have that little dream in your mind of what it would be like just sitting there and how nice it would be? There's a lot of other things as we go through here. I believe that when you really start thinking about them, how much fun they are to you and how thankful we should be, and I should be, for doing it. What about the visitors who came through Mayberry? all those folks that came through town made it a little more exciting. You know, like Mr. Maxwell getting his record together there at the barbershop. Can you really think about that and see those guys playing in the barbershop with Barney in there snapping his fingers and tapping along, and Floyd there at the door watching as people came in and out trying to keep them quiet while Mr. Maxwell was recording the record? Can you see all that and not smile? What about Ernest T. Bass? He didn't live in Mayberry, but he lived nearby, and he came into town a lot. Can you think of Ernest T. Bass and not grin? Is there anything about him that isn't funny? Wow, can you imagine? What about the Darlings? The Darling family coming into town with all the boys standing in the back of the truck. The steam coming out from under the hood. And Charlene sticking her head out the window and then pulling up to the horse trough. Are you not thankful for that? Are you thankful for that just release of a day's worth of stress by just thinking about that and seeing it? I know I am. What about the gold truck coming through town? There's another visitor we had. The gold truck came through town, and of course, I did not say gold. You're cold, cold. I did not say gold. That entire thing. How do you not smile when you remember it? You remember Barney in the back of that gold truck as it took off and it was going down the road. Before that, Gomer had been trying to fill up the car, the gold truck, and put the gas in the gun slot, and was pouring gas in the back of the gold truck with Barney back there. I'm thankful for that because it makes me smile, it makes me laugh. Even old Gold Brick Wheeler, speaking of gold, Mr. Wheeler coming through town, tricking Andy into doing all the work, but he got all the credit, and Aunt B brought him the lemonade. I'm thankful for him. Thankful for that lady speeder. I'm thankful for the SKP, and thankful for Ellen Brown because, you know, nature's been awful good to her. Worked extra long. I am thankful for Ellen Brown. She does bring a smile to my face. And if I want Jan to hear about that, I'll tell her because she probably won't listen to the podcast. Speaking of the SKP, I'm thankful for these things in Mayberry. Barney's use of the English language. SKP, kleptomaniac, a compulsion. The ESP, where he said it was extra sensitive perception. He also got inoculated. And, of course, there was apathy instead of apathy. And who'll ever forget, there's only one thing a guy like that's coming into a town for, RAVENG. And Eddie goes, Raving? I'm thankful for that because just talking about it to you is making me laugh. Hopefully you're laughing on the other end thinking about it as well. How can you not be thankful for things that make you smile and laugh? I think we take them for granted a lot. What about electronal marvels? The Smith Brothers Museum? And, you know, like I said, laughing is therapeutic. I just got to tell you. Oh, folks, man, the Andy Griffith Show, what a treasure it has been. And there's so many other things we could go through just talking about things that actually happen on the Andy Griffith Show that bring us smiles and make us laugh and grin. And we got to be thankful for that because, wow, without Mayberry, wouldn't life be a little bit more boring? Let's expand this a little bit. I am thankful for the Andy Griffith Show in Mayberry, but you know what? I'm thankful because the Andy Griffith Show spawned something like the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club. And through Jim Clark, we've had all these things for so many years. The Mayberry events around the country that the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club promoted and helped pull off. Because, you know, it showed that if you got 10,000 people signed up for a club, you know, somebody might come to an event. We might be able to get some people here. And wow, have we not been blessed by that and thankful for that? There are so many good old television shows. You know, I Love Lucy, Leave It to Beaver, Dick Van Dyke Show. And they do have a following. And they do have some kinds of events every once in a while. But folks, we are blessed. As fans of the Andy Griffith Show, we have been able to go to the Opryland Hotel, Mayberry Days every year, different places that are available for us yearly to see each other. Not just the cast members, but each other's. Because I got to tell you, folks, Mayberry Days and events like that, I love seeing the cast members, and I am thankful for them. They are amazing people. But it's because it's almost like a big family reunion. We're all friends and family gathering together to see one another. Yeah, some of us, some of those folks, the cast members, they draw us there. We want to see them. We want to be around them. But isn't it also true that if you ever get around a bunch of Mayberry people, it's like a big reunion. You're all sitting around discussing the show, kind of like we're doing right now, and laughing and having a great time. And wow, is that not something to be thankful for? That you can get around people you barely know. You may only know them through the internet, but you get together with them and we can just have a great time, smiling, laughing, sharing things like kleptomaniac and compulsions and apathy. We can share all those kind of things. Quotes from the Andy Griffith Show together. So I'm thankful for all that. I'm thankful for the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board. That chapter has been around for over 20 years. Been running that thing for years now. And what a blessing that been. There's 1,500 people that I've been able to meet online, like pen pals, where we send an email every day and everybody gets to know one another. People you never even met or have only met one or two times become your friends. And it's only because, we've been just visiting right there on the internet. How blessed are we to have that? Have friends that we've never really met, but that care about you. And when one of you, something happens to you, they take time out to send you a card or try to contact you to let you know they're thinking about you and praying for you. Friend, that's a blessing, and we ought to be thankful for that kind of stuff. There's an Mayberry community. It just started not too long ago, about a year and a half, 2 years ago now. And there's over 600 and almost 690 people over there visiting and enjoying themselves, talking about nothing but the Andy Griffith Show. Smiling, laughing. And you know what? I'm thankful for them. I'm thankful that people can gather together and have a way to just release and have a good time for a few minutes every day and enjoy each other's company. I'm so thankful for that. And folks, I'm thankful for this podcast. I've been on the internet for a lot of years and been able to pen pal talk with people. But over the last 5 years, I've been able to be a part of this Two Chairs No Waiting podcast and be able to talk to you and visit with you, you individually, every week for 261 weeks. We've got not only the audio, you can watch me on video, which I don't know if people are thankful for that or not. I think hearing me is fine because I have the voice for radio, or the face for radio, I think is the way they say that. But folks, I am thankful that you're out there and you're listening to me and you're interacting with me and you're developing relationships not only with me, but with the other fans that listen to this podcast as well, who come into the chat room, who gather over at the Mayberry community, or they're part of the Who's Been Messing Up the Bulletin Board chapter. I mean, this past year in 2013, we had a meetup in Mount Airy, North Carolina. Did a whole podcast about it, where we had about 30 people showed up that was from right here on this podcast that listened to it and wanted to gather together and visit and have a good time. And we did. And so I'm thankful. I'm so thankful for that. I'm thankful for the chat room, like I said, for the donations. People make donations to this podcast to try to keep it going and help things go along. You folks, I was planning on stopping this podcast at episode number 249. But so many of you wrote to me and talked to me. You didn't want me to stop. And I appreciate that. I'm very humbled by it. I'm humbled that people showed up for the meet and greet thing where we got together in July. It's very humbling, and I am thankful. And I tell you, I smile every week. After a hard day, usually on Monday, you got to go back to work on Monday, and I record these on Monday nights. So Monday night when I get home, I take a little while, and I'm ready for this because I'm ready to head to Mayberry for a little while so I can visit with you and have some fun and smile and laugh. And boy, the day's stresses just go away. Well, folks, of course, I'm thankful for my family for letting me do all this stuff too, my wife and my son. Tell you what, folks, there's a lot of things that we can be upset about, and we can complain and not be happy, but there's a lot of good things in this life that we need to be thankful for, and if we'll focus on those good things, the bad things will just kind of drift away, and we'll forget about them because they'll get taken care of. Let's remember the good things and be thankful for them. And I'm thankful for the Andy Griffith Show and all that it has done for me over the many years. And that's just the laughter, the joy, the fun. So, folks, I want you to think, just for a little while, about the things that the Andy Griffith Show has meant to you, the smiles it's brought, the joy it's put in your heart, and the stress it's helped relieve. And we've got a lot to be thankful for here in Mayberry. Folks, I'd love to hear from you. We've got, all kinds of ways you can get in touch with me. I talked about them a little bit before the show started. So I want to encourage you to do it. Give me a call at 888-684-8415. Tell me what you're thankful for. Drop me an email at floyd@imayberry.com. Go by our website at twochairsnowaiting.com and leave a message there. Or head over to facebook.com/2chairs and leave a message. Love to hear from you. Oh, this past week we published a new episode of the Mayberry Bible Study Podcast. So head over to mayberrybiblestudypodcast.com and check it out. Folks, you guys have a great Thanksgiving week or whenever you listen to it, and be thankful. We'll see you next time on Two Chairs.